Greetings, 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 peace, love, harmony, and light. This is Chief Kalanago with a brief video. Well, maybe it's going to be brief. Who knows? You know, sometimes when I get on the roll, I just keep going and going and going. But hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you're having a beautiful continuation. Just want to take this moment and give thanks to the Great Spirit. Give thanks to my ancestors for constantly, looking over me, guiding me and protecting me. And they know the honor that I have for them and just allowing me to be a vessel working on their behalf, standing on their shoulders. I realize that they have passed me the baton, and it's an honor, to be here on their behalf as a conduit. So to my ancestors, I love y'all, and continue to use me as a vessel to restore your legacy, to restore your story, so that your story, your truth can and it will be told. With that being said, I just want to share a little something with you guys. Truly our liberty, our freedom, us regaining our birthright, it's totally up to us. It's totally up to us. We have to constantly work at it, and part of the process is by learning, reading, studying, dissecting, disseminating the information that you get. I tell folks, when you search for information, you have to cross-reference the information. Not everything that you get from the rip is going to be, the truth, or, sometimes you have to go deeper. And then once you start searching, it's going to lead you to something else. And when you find that truth, it will resonate with your soul. It's going to resonate with your spirit. And now it's just a matter of walking in that truth and letting it be known, letting it be known. So here's a couple of things that the spirit, I know the ancestors are directing me to do. As people know, I'm one of the brothers that have hit the streets, reaching to the people, talking to the people, letting them know that we are the Aborigines. We are the people that they called, the American Indians. And I want to take it a step further, in terms of getting more of a multitude, a plethora of people together. So what I would like to do is I'm going to be passing through the New Jersey, New York area, and I'm truly trying to see if I could get even people who are close as Philly and Maryland, if they want to come to New Jersey to build. But the plan is I want to be able to get some people within the Jersey area, and then on another occasion in the New York area, where I could get about 150 to 200 Aborigines, aka American Indians, because there are some foundations that we need to lay down. And I believe that one man, one woman planting seeds and doing what they got to do, yes, it's effective, because each one of us have to take up that responsibility, okay, to start making the change within ourselves, okay, learning who we are and stepping into our truth. But just imagine if we had 150 to 200 people or even more, okay, coming together with the same state of mind, okay, synergizing and putting that energy and manifesting that energy. Can you imagine what's going to happen across this country, across the Americas, period? All right. So I would love to start a grassroots, movement of building with my brothers and sisters as to how we move forward. Okay, teaching them what has happened, what's happening, and how do you remedy the situation that you are in or what we have gotten ourselves into. Okay, but even before I proceed on that, let me just give you a little background, because oh yes, I do videos and people just, they see, well, okay, this guy, he's doing videos, and fortunately for me, I'm honored that a lot of people are, the truth that I speak is resonating with a lot of people, and I'm just so thankful. Okay, I tell people I don't do videos for the likes. I do it for the love, and I speak from the heart, and I speak with passion, and I live my life with integrity. I'm loyal. That's just me. Once again, I could only hold myself accountable, for my actions. And if each and every one of us were to do that, then I believe that the world would be a better place, but I could only speak for myself. But with that being said, just a little background, okay? Because of course you're going to have, I don't really care about people who hate. I don't really care about the animosity, and I really don't have time for the negativity, because to me, it's just so much of that already in the world. Why do I need to be one of the beings, okay, who is here, promoting hate and animosity and envy and jealousy? No, I'm not going to do that. All right. I'm not going to do that. I tend to be I want to live my life on the other side of the spectrum. All right. Where there's positivity and love. It doesn't mean that I'm going to allow people to take advantage of me. It doesn't mean I'm going to let people abuse me. No, that's not what it means. Okay. That's not what it means. It just means that I'm not going to be out here promoting hate, animosity, and jealousy and envy. I'm not going to do that. All right. But it's important to know the nature of people that you are inviting into your home, whether it may be physically, whether it may be on the internet, through social media. It's still energy that's being transferred. All right. And you have to be in tune with your spiritual, existence or being to feel people's energy, because you see, energy will never lie. Once you're able to read people's energy, get in tune with your energy, have a true understanding of who you are, being able to connect to the higher self, then you tend to hear people's vibrations. You tend to feel people's vibrations. Okay. And then you see them for who they truly are. So for me, being authentic, being genuine is such, it's priceless. I cannot put a price on that, and I personally know that's why my ancestors allow my light to shine. Okay. They always look out for me because of who I am. All right. And just being true to who I am. And it's important. And for those of you who don't know, because some people would come on videos, oh, well, you're not an Aborigine, or you have an accent. Well, people, we all have accents. All right. It just so happened that I have an accent that, well, it's kind of like all over the place, because I was, what you call born in the Caribbean. So sometimes you'll hear a little Caribbean slip in, and then sometimes you'll hear a little New York, and it's a little mix. Sometimes you might hear a little British in there, because my grandparents, from England, and well, they're not from England, but they've lived in England for a very long time. I have cousins and aunts, so it's an influence. Plus the island that I was born in, Dominica, it's a very small island. It was colonized by the French, and then eventually the British took over. So you will hear a little bit of everything in there, but people tend to be so ignorant. All right. Because you have an accent. Oh, well, you African, man, listen, I tell people I have nothing against Africans, nothing. All right. I just want people to acknowledge us for who we are. That's all it's about. It's about identity. It's not about hating Africans. It has nothing to do with that. It's about your identity. Identify me for who my ancestors were. You know what I mean? But here's a little synopsis, or a summary of the history of Dominica. Okay, the island was called Weti Kubuli before it was called Dominica, before Columbus supposedly discovered it. Of course, we know that's not the case. How can you discover something where people were already there? But we already know the lies. All right. Now, for those of you who don't know, and again, I'm telling you this so you have a better understanding of the man, Chief Kalinago, that you listen to, that some of you may encounter. All right? The blood that's in me, my character, my pedigree. You feel me? And to prove to you again that, not to prove to you because I don't have to prove anything to anybody, but just to solidify and lay some foundation as to the fact, as to establishing a fact or the fact that the Americas is my home. It is my birthright by blood, by inheritance. Okay? I am an heir of the heir of the heir. Okay? And my ancestors have been on this land from time immemorial. Okay? And if you really look at the history of Dominica, you know, even if they try to distort a lot of the stories, when you read more and connect the dots, you'll see all the holes that you could poke holes in their stories. Okay, now Dominica, Weti Kubuli, was one of the last islands in the entire Caribbean to be colonized. Now, what does that say about their nature, the temperament of the people? I'm going to repeat that. Dominica was one of the last islands to be fully colonized in the Caribbean. Why? Because my ancestors that were called, my immediate ancestors that were called the Caribs, okay, well, now they say, well, you know, the proper name was the Kalinago, but I know it's Kalina, and my people came from South America, all right, and not Africa, okay, South America. You know, the equator runs across the earth, and that's where my people came from, the side of the earth in South America. Just like how a lot of mainland so-called black people, Aborigines, they don't know that their ancestors also came from South America. And then because of the invasion of the colonizers, they were forced, or a lot of our ancestors were forced into the mainland, mostly the South. And then due to more colonization, a lot of them were forced up north, New York, Jersey, Maryland, Boston, etc., New England, all those places. So you have to know the true history of our people. But I'm just going to stay focused on Dominica here for a second. All right. So Dominica was one of the last islands in the Caribbean to be fully colonized. Why? Because my ancestors fought. All right. They were cutting off heads of colonizers. And that's a fact. All right. That's a fact. So if that were the case, then you know what? Let's not even go there just yet. Let's not even go there just yet. Here's another fact about Dominica. Dominica became the first British colony in the Caribbean with a legislature, okay, controlled by colored people. I'm going to repeat that. Dominica became the first British colony in the Caribbean with a legislative controlled by what? Colored people. By colored people. And colored is spelled C-O-L-O-U-R-E-D. And guess who they were? They were small landholders. Small landholders. Now, how can they be landholders, but at the same time, they were slaves? You see, I know the story of my people. Okay? I know the story of my people. Now, slaves, here's another thing. Slaves brought to Dominica were traded with growers on Guadeloupe, Martinique, and St. Lucia with the French reoccupation. Again, not slavery, occupation. In other words, go look up the definition of occupation and reoccupation. In other words, they would take the occupation that you already had, maybe a landowner, okay, working your land, working your farm, and they took your occupation and gave you another occupation, most likely indentured servitude or slavery. You have to look at the words and the context that is being used. I'm going to repeat that again. Slaves brought to Dominica were traded with growers on Guadeloupe, Martinique, St. Lucia, with the French reoccupation on the island between 1778 and the mid 1783. You feel me? Check this out. Only one slave ship arrived in Dominica in 1781. Okay? I'm going to read that again. Only one slave ship in the late 1781 arrived in Dominica. So if there were already people fighting, okay, fighting the colonizers, then who were these people? And then I could prove, check this out, if the first slave ship arrived in Dominica in 1781, I could prove that my people were in Dominica before 1781. So you see, when people are talking, I just let them talk, because I know where that jealousy and that envy stems from, because they don't know who they are. All right. They want to, and it's people that look like us. You feel me? There was this sister, I'm not going to call her name. I was doing some research in terms of, finding, doing some research on trying to see if I could find somebody who spoke our original Kalinago language. And I came across a sister's video, and I was impressed. She said she had a PhD, a master, whatever, and she's a linguist. So I did some extra research, and it took me some hours. And I got her email, sent her an email, and I said, hey, you know what, sis, I'm a Kalinago and blah, 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 blah. I'm just so grateful that I found someone who speak the language, and I would like to learn my indigenous language. You know what the sister did? The sister sent me an email talking about, you're a disgrace. You're not a Kalinago, and I'm not gonna allow you to, the way that she came off is the same thing that a lot of our people are doing. All right. And mind you, the sister is maybe like my complexion, or maybe a little darker than I am. So my thing is, what gives you the right to be a Kalinago, but not me? You see, you don't know anything about me. But you see, a lot of Negropeans, a lot of our people that's walking around, okay, calling themselves Aborigines, they still have a Negro mentality. They still have a colonized mentality. And they don't even realize that. They don't even realize that. But here I am. I could prove that my people was in Dominica before 1781, before the first so-called slave ship arrived. And guess where the slave ship came from? Okay, they were trading people from the island of Guadeloupe, Martinique, and St. Lucia. So that could have been other indigenous people on the island. The same thing they were doing right here in the mainland. Taking Aborigines from one part of the land, taking them to another, and calling them slaves, telling them they came from Africa. People have to realize how deep this is. And again, this has nothing to do with hating Africa. It's about establishing our identity as who we are. So once again, I know who I am. I know who my people are. And then I traced, okay, a lot of my ancestors from the mainland. Even if I was born in Dominica, a lot of my elders came from the mainland, which solidify and proves the fact that even if we came from South America, we moved into the mainland back and forth. We did what the birds did, what the animals did. We did that. And I have the proof of that. But because of the divide and conquer, a lot of our people are going to continue to stay lost. And that's why it's easy to infiltrate. Because they feel that they are entitled to be indigenous, but not you. Why is that? Is it self-hate? Is it because you may be getting some perks from the government, and you don't want anybody else who look like you to get it. I am not looking for federal recognition, but I am going to be acknowledged in my land. This is my land. And if you look at the nature of the Caribs, okay, do some research on the Caribs, and then you'll truly know what bloods run through me. I don't play. I'm a true Carib. I'm a true Kalinago. So I just wanted to give you guys a perspective on who you're dealing with. I'm not a confused brother. Okay? I know for a fact who I am. I know what my purpose is. I know who my ancestors are. So with that being said, all right, I tell people, okay, I don't have to be here on the mainland fighting for my brothers and sisters here. All right? I could go back in the islands and be chilling. Do some research on Dominica. It is called the Nature Island of the Caribbean. I could be in nature right now chilling. But my ancestors brought me here to do some work, and I am honoring them by being here. Okay? I do this because I love y'all. So I'm saying all this to say what I would like to do is this, all right? I'm going to be going through the New Jersey and the New York area. And I want to set up a few events with at least 150 to 200 or even more Aborigines and come together, okay, so that we could discuss how to move forward and what needs to be done. All right? Because it's imperative that we do this. It is imperative that we do it. Okay? You don't have to pay me for that. All you have to do is just show up. If we have to rent a location, it shouldn't be that expensive. All right. If everybody could come together, patronize and get the location, man, listen, I will talk to everybody, direct everybody, guide everybody on, teach them exactly what happened. All right. Where we're at and where we need to go, what needs to be done. I may not be aware of everything, but I know enough to get you started that will open up your mind so much that it will take you on a whole different frequency. It will give you a whole new paradigm of thinking, a new mindset. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I love. It's my passion. And I want to be able to do this for my people. So if you are in the New York or Jersey area, if we could get about 150, 200 people or even more together, let's do this. Send me an email. My email is in the link below. I'm going to put a group email together. We're going to correspond. We're going to pick a day or a 2-day. We're going to do like a 2-day, maybe a 1-day or a 2-day community group meeting or lecture, lesson, whatever you want to call it. All right. But we're going to put that together. Where at least 150 to 200 of us could come together, and I'm going to teach you guys a few things. Okay? So let's put that in motion as soon as possible. For those of you who are not in the New York or New Jersey area, if you know people who are, send them the video. I'm trying to get this done within the next 3 weeks. All right? One in New York and one in New Jersey. Let's do this. It's time to put in some work. We got to turn the TVs off. We got to get away from the distractions. We got too much work to do. And I believe that there are a lot of us, and, you know, we are spread out. All right. In so many different areas. But I think it's time that our energies come together in synergy to put some things out in the universe so that it could manifest. Okay. And I believe that where 1, 2, or 3 are gathered in our ancestors' name, our ancestors are going to make some miracles happen. I am willing to play my part. Like I said, I don't have to be. Well, you know what? I have to be here because my ancestors want me to be here. But I could be in the islands right now, chilling, eating mangoes, like the way I grew up. In my backyard, I had mangoes, guavas, all right, watermelon, berries, sugar cane, coconuts, tamarind. Okay, I'm a real island man. I'm a real island boy. Well, not a boy now, but a man. All right, the nature island I came from nature. So nature is within me. So I want to teach you about those things. All right. I would like to guide you as to what you need to do so that we could regain our birthright. You feel me? So send me an email and let's get this together. At least 150 in Jersey, 100 for the least. For the least. I mean, we could have more. I would love that. The ancestors would love that. All right. But at least 150 in Jersey and 150 in New York. All right. In the Brooklyn area, because that's where I'll be. All right. So let's put this together. You feel me? And in Jersey, it's going to be in the Neptune area. So if you want to come from Philly, if you want to come from Maryland, it's okay, because those are neighboring, states or territories. So let's put this together, and 150 for the least. Let's come together and let's make this happen. All right. I just wanted to give you guys just a quick background of who you are dealing with and how sincere I am about this, because there's work to be done. Okay. There's work to be done. What you have to remember is that the colonizers are always working. They're not being distracted like everybody else. They stay on their grind. So it's your duty. It's your job to get on your grind. To every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. Okay? So if they're putting an action out there, you have to come with an equal or even more forceful reaction. And it's time to put in that work. All right? So my email is in the link below. Send me an email. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a group email of all the people who wants to come together for this lecture. Like I said, you don't have to pay me for this. By you willing to come together is enough payment to me. However, we all could come together, patronize and pay for a place so we could have the lecture. Okay? And we will go in and we'll do some serious work, some serious building, some serious bonding. Okay? I am very, very serious about this. I'm willing to dedicate my time because I'm doing this on behalf of my ancestors. I'm doing it in their honor. And because I find favor in them. I am highly favored in them. Okay? I have to do it. I'm just being obedient. Okay? So with that being said, thank you for listening. I appreciate, love you guys. And I want to make this happen within the next 3 to 4 weeks. I want to make that happen. So please share the video. Reach out to your peoples, in Jersey, Maryland, Philly, that don't mind coming out. And then we're going to do one in New York. Okay? In the Brooklyn area. Let's make this happen. Okay? And if we can't find enough people in New York, then people in New York that don't mind coming to Jersey, let's just come together and do a big lecture, a big sit down. And let's plan, let's strategize and make this thing happen. So I'm willing to play my part. How about you? Once again, this is Chief Kalanago. On behalf of our ancestors, I do this for the love, not for the likes. And my goal and my vision is to see my people restore the legacy of our ancestors, reclaim our birthright, get the respect that we are owed in our land. Every other ethnic group comes into our home, the Americas, and live the American dream. But yet still, the original Americans, we are here living a nightmare. And it's time that this come to a stop. And nobody's going to stop it but us. There's no need to be afraid. There's no need to be fearful. Let us not allow negativity, the enemies, to stop us. Our ancestors are going to make sure they prepare a table before us in the midst of our enemies. And they're going to bow before us because they won't have a choice. They will not have a choice. So many others have come in honor of our ancestors. All right. and lately our brother Nipsey. So let us continue that legacy. Let us continue to celebrate their transition. It is not their death, it is their life, their legacy. So let us carry on that legacy, and let's come together on behalf of our brother Nipsey and continue the work that he was doing. All right, not necessarily speaking about the Dr. Sebi thing, but in terms of our indigenous standing. All right, reclaiming the respect in our home, in our land. Okay, fortunately, everybody know who we are. The unfortunate part is most of our people don't know who they are. And I think it's time to change that. So would you join me in making this happen? Within the next 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to be passing through the Jersey area, the Neptune, New Jersey area, and I want to set up a lecture, a free lecture. It's a gift from me to you. Okay? I'm not asking you for a dime. All I'm just saying is, all you got to have to do is just commit yourself to show up. That's it. To me, that's enough compensation. If you so choose to, hey, show some love, that's cool. But I'm just doing that because this is what my ancestors want me to do. So I want to do one in New York, in Brooklyn, and I want to do one in Jersey, in Neptune, within the next 3 to 4 weeks. Let's put this in motion. Peace, love, harmony, and light. Chief Kalanago. Talk to y'all soon.